Have you ever looked at someone and wondered how they just completely transformed their life while you feel like you're just spinning your wheels? Well, the answer is usually this one rule that sounds way too simple to be true, but it's the secret to incredible growth. It's called the 1% rule, and trust me, it can change everything.
Does this sound familiar? You put in the work, you really try to make a change, but somehow you end up right back where you started. You're just stuck in the same loop. It's so frustrating, right? And you're definitely not alone in feeling that way. So how do you break out? Okay, so the first thing we have to talk about is this huge pitfall that almost all of us fall into. It's this idea that to really change your life, you need to make these massive, dramatic, overnight transformations. We call this the all-or-nothing trap. So let me tell you about this guy, Arjun. Arjun was just tired of being average, in his health, his work, everything. So he did what we all do. He went looking for those change-your-life-fast schemes. He found these insane workout plans, these crazy 4 a.m. morning routines, and yeah, he'd start off super strong on a Monday, but by Thursday, totally and completely burned out. Sound familiar? This right here shows the two paths so perfectly. On the left, that's Arjun's old plan, the all-or-nothing approach. I mean, look at it. 2 hours at the gym from day one, a 4 a.m. alarm, it's just not sustainable. But then he stumbled on a totally different idea. His 1% today plan was just walk for 3 minutes. That's it. It sounds almost pointless, doesn't it? But that tiny, ridiculously small step, well, that was the key that unlocked everything.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth does a tiny change lead to massive results? This is where a little bit of simple math reveals something absolutely mind-blowing. The power of just getting 1% better every single day is, well, it's staggering when you actually see the numbers.
First, let's look at the scary part, the downside. If you get just 1% worse each day, maybe you skip one small good habit or you give in to one small bad one, over a year, you don't just go down a little bit. You basically fall off a cliff. You're left with almost nothing. Your starting point is pretty much gone.
But now look at this. This is the magic. If you just commit to getting 1% better each day, you don't end up just a little bit better at the end of the year. No, because of the power of compounding, you end up nearly 37 times better than where you started. Think about that. That is the explosive exponential power of tiny, consistent gain.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. A single 1% improvement, you're not going to notice it. You won't see a huge change tomorrow or even next week. But that momentum, it starts to build on itself. And over time, that tiny daily habit compounds into this incredible force that becomes truly unstoppable. So what does this 1% actually look like in the real world? It's nothing complicated, I promise. It's literally just reading one more page than you did yesterday, doing one extra push-up, saving one more dollar. These actions are so small, they almost feel insignificant. But like we just saw, they are the absolute building blocks of monumental change.
Okay, but there is a catch here, and it's a big one. This whole process, it requires patience. A lot of patience. Because the results are not going to show up right away. And there's this perfect analogy from nature that explains why you have to trust the process, even when it feels like nothing is happening.
I want you to look at the timeline of the Chinese bamboo tree. For the first 4, sometimes even 5 years after you plant the seed, you see absolutely nothing above the ground. You water it, you take care of it, and it looks like a complete failure. And then, suddenly, in its 5th year, it just explodes, growing up to 90 feet in only 6 weeks. It's unbelievable. So what in the world was happening for all those years? Well, under the ground, in the dark, the tree was building this massive, complex root system. It was creating the foundation it needed for that explosive growth. And your 1% efforts? They're doing the exact same thing. Every tiny action is building your roots in silence. You have to trust that the foundation is growing stronger, even when you can't see a single thing on the surface.
Okay, so we've covered the why. You get it. It's powerful. Now let's talk about the how. How do you take this amazing concept and actually apply it to your own life, starting right now? Let's get practical. First things first, pick one area. Not 5, not 10, just one. Don't overwhelm yourself. Second, define your 1% action. Ask yourself, what is the absolute smallest, tiniest step I can take? Third, and this is the real secret, make it stupidly easy. I mean so easy that it would feel weird not to do it. And finally, and this is a big one, focus on the identity you're building, not just the goal you're chasing.
We'll dive into that right now. This right here is such a powerful mental shift. A goal-focused person says something like, I want to run a marathon. It's this huge, far-off thing. But an identity-focused person, they say, I am a runner. See the difference? It's not about some future event. It's about who you are today. Every single time you take that small step, you put on your shoes, you walk for 3 minutes, you're casting a vote for that new identity, which makes it feel totally natural to keep going.
To bring this all home, just think about a mountain climber. They don't stand at the bottom of a giant mountain and get overwhelmed thinking about the entire climb. That would be absolutely paralyzing. Instead, every single day, all they do is ask one simple question. Can I just take one more step today? That's it. Your whole transformation is just a long series of those single steps.
So remember this, lasting change, the kind that really sticks, isn't about one giant, heroic leap. It's built by the tiny, almost microscopic choices you make every single day. And each day gives you that same choice. Get 1% better or get 1% worse. So the only question left to ask is, what is your 1% choice going to be today?